Hi, good evening. Austin Mayor Steve Adler. Got a minute? Sorry, I'm a little bit late tonight. Supposed to have started at 7, moved to 7:30. I'm even late for 7:30. I was able to participate tonight in one of the citywide community meetings on reimagining public safety. This is the conversation we're having in a city about how to take a city that is already one of the safest big cities in the country and make it even safer. And we've had meetings in each of the council districts, all 10. There are citywide community meetings as we gather information. It's all going to be compiled by the staff and presented to the public. I had the opportunity to participate in some, and I'll let the staff kind of pull everything together, but in an anecdotal kind of way without having the statistical analysis. I'll tell you what I'm hearing. I'm hearing over and over again how important most people think police is in our community. This is a community that supports our police, recognizing they can get places quickly, and we need them, especially in situations that involve violence and crime. We also have a community that wants to make sure that our police can focus on that and wanting to make sure that we're not expecting or asking of them things that maybe we shouldn't be. And that's part of the conversation. Do we want our police to be our mental health first responders? Do we want our police to be the way as a community we interact with poverty in our community? So we're dealing with those kind of questions as part of the conversation to figure out where's the best way to put resources. What does a city look like that truly supports its police, wants its police to have all the tools and protections they need to help protect us? How do we deal with historic issues? Culture issues that too frequently leave us in the situation where part of our community feels safe and part of our community does not, wanting to have a community where we all feel safe. So if you have a chance to participate in that conversation, that would be great. We want, as a council, my colleagues and I want everyone to be able to participate. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers that we have tonight with respect to the virus. We'll begin with the dashboard that we always start with. New admissions tonight, 88. The 7-day moving average, the most important number, is at 80. That's the same number we had yesterday. 80 as the 7-day moving average. So while our number is not escalating, going up, which is good, it's relatively flat, maybe a hint of going down a little bit. We're still at that place where we could go either way. Numbers have been encouraging in that we're not rising anymore, but flat is not good enough if we're going to actually be able to open up schools more and have more kids go to school. We need to have the numbers go down if we're going to really be able to open up businesses in a great way. We're going to need those numbers to go down. So please maintain discipline. Wear your mask when you're around anybody other than people in your home. Avoid large groups. Make sure that you social distance. Number of new cases today, 707. That's significantly higher than the 545, which is the 7-day moving average. Even with that 707, that keeps the 7-day moving average at just about the same number it was yesterday. Yesterday, the number was 546. Again, kind of a flat kind of number. You can see it on the chart. We went up. That's when we had everybody really engaged. The numbers come down, but we're talking about a number that has come down, which is good, but still kind of flat still. So let's take another look at the other chart that's on the website that you can take a look at. We're over 67,500 cases with the 700 cases that we have. The deaths at 654 is an increase of 7, more than we had yesterday. It's a lot of people passing away. When you have a spike like the one that we had, it meant our ICU numbers were rising pretty considerably. Remember, we got close to 200. That was the number we wanted to stay away. We never went over 200, but boy, we got close. But when you get up to that kind of number on ICUs, that means the ventilator number is going to be high, and that means we're going to lose people. So 7 more people. It takes us over 650 people passed away. In our hospitals tonight, we have 564 people. 47 of those are in the alternate care site. That 564 is almost on top of the 7-day moving average, which is 560. So 564, just almost on top of that number, about 4 higher. ICUs, we're down to 153. That's a good sign. The 7-day moving average is 162. So the ICU number is moving in the direction that we want. Wasn't long ago, we were at 190, looking like we were going to hit 200. Ventilators, 97. 7-day moving average is 98. So that's the number that is still kind of flat for us. The key indicator charts that we're looking at from the state perspective continue to show us that we're just about 1. As you would expect. Remember, above 1, and our virus, let's see if we can get that to share here. So here's the University of Texas chart. Above 1, the virus is growing. Below 1, the virus is retreating. We're at 0.93. Which means that the numbers that the model would show us, that aquamarine line, would almost be level. That's the line that we want to be able to drive down and keep going down, so we can increase activity. My hope is that as we get more and more of the vaccine into people's arms, we're going to also be able to work to bring down the infectivity in the city, so that we can be opening things up. Texas, by the way, yesterday passed 2 million COVID-19 cases. Passed 2 million, which is pretty incredible number. It wasn't that long ago, just a month or two that we were over. We hit the 1 million mark. Today, Judge Brown for Travis County and I extended the eviction protections that we have here in Central Texas. We did this in alignment with what President Biden had done. We extended them to April 1st in the same way that the federal government is extending theirs. The federal government extension is not as complete as the one that we have here in Central Texas. You know, when the beginning of the virus back in March, we made the decision here that our ultimate priority was going to be to save lives. And that has continued to be our focus. And by focusing on saving lives and making decisions all along the way, including with respect to evictions, so that people were able to stay in their homes. Every one of the decisions that we make were aimed at trying to protect lives in the city, and we've been successful at that. Here is a website from U.S. News. You can see here is Austin. As of the last day, January 27th, you can see that the mortality rate per deaths per 100,000 people here in Travis County is about 54.6. Harris County, 87.2. Bexar County, over 110. El Paso, almost 250. Dallas, just over 100. Fort Worth number is a little bit lower than that, but in the same general ballpark. Lubbock, for example, almost 220. deaths per 100,000 people. Here's Austin. We have consistently tried to make the decisions that would save the most number of lives. So proud to extend that eviction. Hopefully, we're going to be providing both for the rent payments and for landlords. Like we have provided about $13 million to landlords so far to help pay for rent, which is providing rent relief to tenants. It's looking like the federal government's going to give us another $29 million for that purpose, for rent relief for tenants, which we pay to landlords. We recognize that landlords during a tenant eviction moratorium like the one we have also face dangers, which is why we're trying to set up programs that also take care of them, including that direct payment element. We continue to issue the vaccines. During the second week of our vaccine hub, Austin Public Health worked with local school districts and systems. We vaccinated almost 1,000 teachers and school employees that met the 1A, 1B criteria. We started that on January 18th. And we're going to continue that program as best we can to help folks that are in our schools, 1A, 1B, over 65, or with a condition that makes them particularly vulnerable. In addition to that, 1,000, the remaining about 11,000 doses we received last week were also used to vaccinate phase 1B individuals. These are people that had previously registered through the website on Austin Public Health. All 12,000 of the doses that we got were distributed by Saturday, January 23rd. So since the launch of the pre-registration program here, and again, anybody in Central Texas, in fact, anybody in the state actually, by state rules, is allowed to go to the Austin Public Health site and register. Just because you register doesn't mean that you get an appointment. The appointments are going to folks that are eligible, but not everybody that's eligible can get an appointment because we don't have enough supply. But you begin the process by doing the pre-registration. So since the launch of our pre-registration system on January 13th, more than 180,000 people here have registered. More than 77,000 of those people meet the 1B criteria. 77,000 people over 65 or with serious condition. That's why if you have gone on, you're over 65, you haven't got an appointment yet, that's why we just don't have the supply yet. But I promise you, when we get the supply, we're getting it out just as fast as it comes to us. For people who have received their first dose through Austin Public Health during the last 2 weeks of the vaccination hub, Austin Public Health is going to be contacting you about scheduling your second dose, and you'll receive that the same way you got your appointment for the first dose. I didn't do Got a Minute last night. I don't know if you saw my Instagram report right at the end of the meeting. I'm going to try to do that on council nights, but we didn't do Got a Minute. At the council meeting yesterday, we increased the duration of our isolation facilities, increased our testing capability. We went forward and authorized the purchase of another motel to help with folks experiencing homelessness in our community as part of the process to get people out of tents and off our streets and off our corners. Authorized a co-development agreement with city-owned tract in downtown Austin to get some affordable housing downtown, some childcare centered downtown for people who work downtown to be able to use. Also, we elected Councilmember Harper Madison as Mayor Pro Tem for 2021. Congratulations, Mayor Pro Tem. And also indicated that we would have Councilmember Alter as Mayor Pro Tem in 2022. Congratulations to my colleague, Councilmember Alter as well. Tomorrow's Friday. We'll see if we have some more numbers and new numbers to report tomorrow. We are not out of the woods. We need to send these numbers not being flat, but down. And that's how we should really focus. Was on some calls today with some folks from the White House. They indicated that they, based on the current supply streams, could increase the supply coming out to states by about 15%, and that would happen quickly. 15% increase on our local allocation would be great, but it's not near enough. The federal administration said they're working to increase the manufacturing capability of those that are producing the vaccine, so as to increase the numbers so that they can get to the 100 million doses in 100 days. They're talking about even trying to beat that number. Apparently a couple more vaccines we should be hearing about here over the next several weeks might increase the number of options that we have. Everybody's just trying to get the vaccine out and into people's arms just as quickly as we possibly can. In the meantime, and even if you've already been vaccinated, wear your mask, social distance, avoid large groups. With that, we'll say good night. You all take care and be safe.